Operators of the point-of-sale transaction and payment system are some of the most hard hit as a result of the ongoing cash squeeze in Nigeria. By extension, their plight under the circumstances has been felt by a critical mass of undeserved Nigerians, especially in areas where the banking system has yet to make appreciable impact. This may in fact be a direct indictment of the failures of Central Bank of Nigeria's policies regarding its financial inclusion agenda. Sarafadeen Fasasi is Managing Director of Ecosystems Hybrid Network and joins us now to consider a few critical points about the subject. It's good to have you with us.
Good afternoon.
All right.
Yeah, well done.
So, how have recent CBN cash policies impacted on financial inclusion agenda? We can talk about prospect for fintechs as well, and of course, which you've captured in the intro, as you've heard.
Thank you very much. I think it's going to make a huge negative impact on the financial inclusion agenda, considering the fact that financial inclusion is about creating access, for the unbanked people to come into the banking sector. But with this emergency cashless policy, about more than 80% of the access created over the 10 years has been shut down within a week. So now we want to force people, and I have never seen anywhere in the world where cashless is achieved by force.
Overnight.
It is not. It is a developmental process. And I am suspecting, and I even doubt, if this whole policy has been part of the CBN master plan for the year itself. Because I was involved in various CBN committees, Financial Inclusion Steering Committee of the CBN, and this has never been discussed. So if at that level we have never discussed it, if at the NESG thematic financial inclusion we have not discussed it, and who are you now expecting to help you cascade the understanding of those policies down? And the fundamental blunder in this policy is the rush. Why the rush? We have a huge lot of time. UK are mopping up their cash, no problem. They have given their citizens 2 years to mop up less than 20% cash in circulation. We want to mop up 80% cash in circulation, over 2.7 trillion naira in the space of 100 days. Considering our terrain, considering the fact that the rural area, larger percentage of Nigerians are unbanked, and they are in a very rough terrains.
So but you asked the question, why the rush?
Yeah, why the rush?
Now the question is, some would answer, or probably the CBN will answer.
Yeah.
Okay. The general election is the reason why the rush. That's the first question I want to ask. I want to throw your way. Do you think, because they say that they are trying to curb vote buying and the rest of them, and we'll try to look at it. There's no perfect policy.
Yeah.
There will be loopholes as things actually evolve. But looking at it, is it a case of we Nigerians and our fundamentals being challenged right now? Because I've listened to what you've said, and when you look at it closely, we only believe we have cash if we actually do hold the physical currency. And this is challenging that fundamentals. And right now, people are having to do more transactions digitally than physically. Don't you think that probably there needs to be a massive paradigm shift, and there is no perfect time to implement a policy?
Okay, thank you very much. It is easier for some of us in the city to speak grammars that this is the right time. We want to move to a digital platform. Let me come out bluntly. We are trying to move people from unbanked to the digital sector. How viable, how ready our physical platforms? For the last 3 days or 4 days, all the mobile bank apps in Nigeria are shut down. You have your money, you cannot log in. Is that the kind of platform we want to migrate over 100 million on bank Nigeria?
That's not completely true, because I've done transactions seamlessly. Not to, probably I will not mention some. But I've done some transactions in the last 2 hours.
If I am pushing a position, I'm pushing a position of a practitioner. Somebody that is processing almost about 5,000 transactions in a day.
Okay.
I am logging into mobile app of about 25 commercial banks in Nigeria today. If you have to go by standard today, I can bet it with you, only about 3 of the Nigerian banks will pass that standard operation procedure. Today, when you do a transfer, you can have a completed transaction with a completed receipt, and the beneficiary will not receive that value. Why? Because there are very key infrastructures, menus that we're supposed to institutionalize in our payment system. There are no auto reversals in most of the payment platforms today.
True.
You have to go and lodge a claim before you can get your money back.
Physically.
Physically. Imagine somebody across the river in Niger, in Aguara, that has that kind of problem. We have to travel over 300 kilometers to the closest bank, which is in Minna, the Niger State capital, to go and lodge a complaint. And we are talking of people that is their last kobo. That is their last kobo. We can have access to borrowing and anything, but these people are already stranded. We have a situation where people that are selling perishable goods today, they were in the market before this policy caught up with them, because they were not notified before. Somebody that bought bananas, and today most of the customers, they use cash to buy, but they don't have that cash. Banana is rotting in the house as I speak to you.
Fasasi,
Livelihood is out.
May I come in now?
Yeah.
Yes, so the technology fails every now and then. Let's not kid ourselves regarding that. But do you think, to a large extent, we've been experiencing network issues even before now? You know, that narrative you just pointed, that you could send money to an account and it probably wouldn't get there. And of course, you have to go and make your claims at the bank physically. But then again, do you think the recent deluge has also impacted, you know, heavy demand on the imperfect infrastructure that we have on ground? And that's putting a lot of pressure on all these transactions that we have today. Even when you go to some petrol stations right now, they'll tell you, all we want is cash. And when you have put yourself in that scenario, CBN is trying to do something which is laudable, but can it be completed within a few days? But you're creating other problems as well.
Okay. Even we are creating more problems, because now we are even talking about people in the cities. When you see fight at the ATMs, it's because they have ATM. Imagine over 60% of Nigerian population residing in the rural areas without ATMs. In the last few days, I've been in a lot of village markets. And you know what? A lot of billions of transactions are happening in our village markets. And they are cash transactions. And today, as I speak to you, there is gala market going on in Kebbi State. And the market is as dry as anything, because there is no means of transaction. They don't have internet. Internet penetration in Nigeria is less than 40%. And you want to drive cashless policy. Cashless policy anywhere in the world is not the sole responsibility of CBN. You need NCC, you need all these people to, you know, grow along with time. Let's learn from Rwanda. How did they come about financial inclusion? It's about, first of all, working on the internet infrastructure. They laid the cables across the nook and crannies of their villages. They gave themselves a target of like a 5 year to complete that. And having reached some level of number of base stations, then they can now migrate to, okay, let's it's about value. Nobody wants to be carrying cash around. But when this is wicked. A lot of Nigerian banks, you can't log into their apps. They have shut down. It's a mafia. You are restricting people from having access to their funds. We have seen social media people, you know, going crazy because they cannot buy medicine. They cannot buy. We are too much in a rush. It is better for the CBN to come up with a 5-year plan. Let's say, okay, we have about 80% cash in transaction. The year 1, we want to reduce it to, let's say, 50%. Year 2, 30%. Year 3, you know, like that, we will achieve it and while we are trying to achieve it, then we will also try to upgrade our platform, digital platforms. Today, when you have complaints, the only dispute resolution are formal. You have to write email. You have to, you know, put a call through. Excuse me, my father and my mother in the villages. What alternative channels have you prepared for them? And Also, in terms of the job losses,
And
we have lost over
even the
1.4
handicapped
million.
as well. We're talking about
Handicaps.
the aged, the handicapped.
So we have to be sensitive. But I am not surprised. Most of the policymakers are disconnected from the basis.
No,
they are not
okay,
in
now.
touch. They are not in touch. They don't feel what we feel.
Some will say probably you're overstretching this. Understanding that, okay, I've just tried to log into three of my, I'm not being practical now. I've tried to log into 3 of my bank apps. And I logged in successfully. In 30 seconds, 3 apps. So that means something is working. So if you say if people have not been able to log in this weekend, I've just tried to log in 1, 2, 3 in a space of 30 seconds.
Anyway,
I did that.
I can share with you notification from 10 commercial banks that we apologize that we have been down for the past 3 days.
I know, but okay.
You know, for the past 3 days we have been down.
Okay,
you know, the frequency at which we
since we cannot mention banks because it's almost like my word. Because it's like my words against your words. Because I'm being practical here. I've just opened apps and in 30 seconds I was able to log into 3 banks. But that's not my question.
You can cross-check. Go and check internet. You will see notification of banks in the last 3 days.
Now the truth is this, I'm not saying that there are no hitches. I'm not saying that there are no problems.
There are.
But it's not, some are saying that it's not as exaggerated as you're making it sound. And secondly, now let's go back to 2012. And some will say that we missed a crucial point in the state of affairs of this nation. That we might have gone on a different trajectory if probably we didn't fight a certain policy that didn't look like it was ripe and it wasn't the right time. Talking about the subsidy policy in 2012. People came out with pitchforks and they went after the Jonathan government and said that policy was a fraud and that policy needed to go. This is 2023. 11 years later. And we are still gnashing our teeth because we know how much we've spent between 2012 and 2023 on subsidy. Now my question is this. Like we've seen in Nigeria, most of nothing is actually perfect. And there's never a perfect time. Just maybe if we hobble and wobble and we get through this very tight space and probably get back and try to find a way around it. If we decide to knock off this opportunity to probably evolve into a cashless society, don't you think that we might just go back to 2012, whereby 2 years down the line we might look and say that just if we had maybe endured a little, we wouldn't have suffered like we are suffering right now and spending and bleeding cash on a daily basis for subsidy.
Thank you very much. Nigerians are very enduring, people. And let me tell you, Nigerians are ready to go along with you if you show them your destination. So we are in a vehicle where we don't even know where the driver is driving us to.
No, use the subsidy as an example.
A subsidy as an example. It's about engagements. Do you think Nigerian government are communicating with Nigerian people? They are not engaging. Nobody really understands. There is no master plan for Nigeria. Rwanda just came out of genocide maybe a decade or so ago, and they decided that which country are we modeling at? We look at our geographical and everything. We can see that we are disadvantaged. We are landlocked, full of mountains. So, but we want to model which country in the world have passed through that stage and they are successful. They pick Singapore. And they started modeling and they engaged their youth. Every single ministry, every single person on the street of Kigali engaged them. In the next 5 years, what are we looking forward to? So they are ready to go into fasting to achieve the dream of their goal. But in Nigeria, nobody can communicate with me. Even people in government, they don't know their destination. There is no master plan in the next 5 years. And the same thing is happening into cashless policy.
But the master plan is to actually evolve fully into a cashless society.
And it's not a miracle. You can't say you want to go jump from primary school to PhD without passing through the secondary. There are infrastructures. Cashless policy will ride on internet penetration. Okay.
It is a gradual space.
Let me cite an example. We are talking of alternative channels.
Briefly, please.
We are talking of QR codes. We are talking of e-Naira. After 2 years of launching e-Naira, please compare the transactions that are coming through e-Naira. That is to tell you that there is something wrong. NQR by NIPS has been launched for the past 2 or something years. Please kindly find out, why are all these not flying? There is a company in Nigeria that also saw this case study in China, Scan and Pay. Scan and Pay. They have the greatest network in Nigeria in the mobile space, and they bombarded it. They spent a lot of their investment. Today, their QR product is in shambles. They are in trouble. So what we are saying is, you see, we were licensing people, companies as at last month, for financial inclusion, for agent deployment. If you know that in the next 1 month you are going to crash all this, then you shouldn't have licensed them.
To a large extent, you have to match your words with action. Yeah. Thank you. Fasasi Sarafadeen Atonda, he is the Managing Director of Ecosystems Hybrid Network. I'd like to thank you for joining us on the show.
Thank you very much.
Good to have you with us.